Hey everybody, it's Jenny from Norman S. Wright. I thought I'd do a few weeks of videos on some controlled terminology. This week I'll start with PID controls. So let's get started. You will see in specifications that controls are using PID or maybe a PID loop. So what is PID? Well, PID stands for proportional, integral, and derivative. So P is proportional control, PI stands for proportional plus integral control, and PID stands for proportional plus integral and derivative control. It's a type of control logic used in HVAC systems and many other types of systems to regulate temperature, humidity, ventilation rates, etc. within a building. PID control helps ensure that the environment stays comfortable and is energy efficient. It refers to the proportional, integral, and derivative of the error signal over time, which in the case of VAV box is basically how far you are away from set point. So let's move it over and look at each of them. Let's start with proportional. In proportional control, the controller looks at how far away from set point you are. If the temperature is far from set point, proportional control reacts strongly, making larger adjustments. And if you're closer to set point, it makes smaller adjustments. How big the adjustment is proportional to how far away from set point you are. Proportional control is used by pneumatic, analog, and electric control products. Proportional control kind of looks something like this. If you have time across the bottom and temperature going up and down here, and this line is your set point, if you're far away from your line, proportional control is going to drive you to your set point, but it's going to pass your set point and then realize that you're too cold and go in the other direction, and it's going to go up and down like this. I like to think of it as if you were driving a car. Let's bring a couple cars on here. And if you're trying to catch up to the car in front of you, if it's far away, you press the gas all the way down, but unfortunately this means you pass the car by, so then you slow way down and it passes you by, and this continues on and on. Let's move this over and look at integral control. The integral component looks at how long you've been off of set point. Integral control requires a microprocessor, so you'll only see this in DDC controls, which are nearly all the controls today. The longer you've been away from set point, the higher the controller response. PI control doesn't have large temperature swings like proportional control does. It looks something like this. Again, we have time going across the bottom and then up and down is temperature. So say you start warmer than set point and you'll overshoot it a little bit, come back, overshoot it a little bit still, and then kind of fine-tune your way down into it. Going back to my car analogy, you would drive by in this blue car and you'd pass a little bit and you'd back up and you'd get a little behind it and eventually you'd be right up there with it. So let's move this over again and look at derivative. The derivative component looks at how quickly you are approaching the set point. Derivative control is also only available in digital controls. The derivative component is looking at the rate of change of the room temperature. It's looking at how quickly the temperature is changing to help predict future behavior. So the graph would kind of look like this. So as you get closer to set point, you slow down how fast you're reacting. It kind of provides a dampening effect that prevents the system from reacting too aggressively. Again, with our car analogy, if you were behind the other car, you would speed up, but as you get closer, you would slow down enough that you just come up right beside the car without passing them. So let's bring all of this back on the screen. So proportional control will cause overheating and overcooling. You don't see a lot of proportional control anymore in VAV boxes. With proportional plus integral control, PI, it'll reduce the overshooting of the set point. For VAV boxes, this is often good enough to satisfy the comfort requirements of a typical office space. For PID control, proportional plus integral and derivative, it won't overshoot its set point. So this is used when overshooting the set point is unacceptable. And I've talked about set point in terms of the temperature, but this could also be humidity or any other condition that you need to control. So that's a quick explanation of PID controls. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and thanks for watching.